Good evening everyone, and welcome to Gundam News. This time brought to you by YourZap, the ever-expanding Swiss Army knife of self-care apps. You can manage your stress and anxiety through meditation or yoga classes, chill out with their vast library of music, which includes lo-fi, ambient sounds, nature sounds, binaural beats, and more. They've got a section for psychological advice, and if you have trouble sleeping, you might want to give their sleep stories a shot. And the best of it all is that their content is all directly tailored towards you, meaning that there's no need to go wading through countless videos to find what is perfect for you. So if you want to try out YourZap too, you can download the app for free right now with the link down below. And by using that link or my code Kakarot, you'll also get a 60% discount on a yearly premium plan. And now on to our first headline, which was of course the Hobby Next Phase 2022 summer, where we were going to be getting some exciting new Gunpla announcements. Unfortunately, half of them weren't new, and the other half wasn't particularly exciting either. The most exciting thing they showed was, honestly, that they have plans for a 20th anniversary kit for the Master Grade version Kotoki line. But unfortunately, that is all we know about that so far, so we can only speculate what that is going to be. Like, are they going to make an awesome version Kotoki redesign of a Master Grade that we've already gotten? Something like the Zeta Gundam, or maybe the Strike Gundam? Or are we going to get a new version Kotoki version of the first version Kotoki, the RX-78-2? Because that thing looked amazing, but it is definitely getting on in age, and, well, when you build that thing nowadays, it definitely feels like an old Master Grade. As for the more concrete announcements then, from G-Witch, both the high-grade Lubrith and Begwill will be retailing for 1,760 yen, 13 US, and will be releasing in August. And that was that. The Master Grade Extreme Strike Freedom Gundam then will be released in November and will be accepting pre-orders soon, and that was that. And from SD Gundam, we got two new model kit announcements. For 770 yen, 5 US, there was the SDW Heroes Dark Grasper Dragon, and for 1,210 yen, 9 US, there was the SDW Heroes Sun Quan Gundam S-Ray Kaku-en Shoko version, which is like the powered up version of the regular one. And that was everything. Like, I really hope things are going to be getting back to normal for Gunpla soon, because I'm definitely noticing a pattern here of not a lot happening. And the bigger announcements actually came from the newly opened Tamashii Nation Store Tokyo that opened up in Akihabara. And definitely one of the coolest things about the store itself is that it's in the location of the Gundam Cafe, so it's nice to see that it's staying something Gundam related. And to celebrate this grand opening, they exhibited a bunch of Tamashii Nations figures, including some new ones. There was the Metal Build Strike Gundam Heliopolis Rollout version, which will be a store exclusive, and it is scheduled for July with a retail price of 19,800 yen, 150 US. And the biggest difference that I noticed with the retail version, well, I should say, the biggest difference I noticed first was that there's P1 scratched into the left side of the chest, and that there's also some battle damage there. But then, based on the promotional image that we got a day later, I don't think that's a feature of the actual figure, but more something that was done to the prototype. And the actual difference is just going to be that it's going to have different markings. And as you might have noticed, that promotional image that I just showed you wasn't actually specific for the Heliopolis Rollout version, but instead for the newly announced Metal Build IWSP Striker Pack. But they did confirm that the version of the Strike Gundam you see in that image is of the Heliopolis Rollout version. But then the IWSP Striker Pack, it will go up for pre-order on July the 1st. It is scheduled for November, and it'll go for a neat 14,300 yen, 110 US. And then there were also a bunch of other figures on display, like the 10th anniversary Striker Packs that will be releasing in August, the Cucuruz Doan's Island metal builds, and 2 Robot Damashii figures that I'm not sure if I've covered before. The Robot Damashii RX-783 G3 Gundam version anime real marking version, and Char's Custom Rigdom version anime real marking version. Both are limited edition versions of the regular figure and will have slightly different markings. And as if that wasn't enough already, on the 21st, they not only released a bunch of really cool images of the Death Scythe Hell, but they also ended that same blog post by showing a picture of the upcoming Metal Robot Damashii Altron Gundam. But more information on that thing will be coming soon. So then, moving on to our second big headline, the G-Witch information. The series itself is set in the Stella timeline, so we finally got confirmation that it is going to be in its own distinct universe, and it is now the year 122. Multiple corporations have joined in the space race, and space has now become a huge economic system, probably run by those same corporations. Our story begins when Suletta Mercury, a lone girl from Mercury, transfers to the Asticacia School of Technology, an institute that is operated by the largest player in the mobile suit industry, the Benerit Group. And it seems that she entered the school to become a mobile suit pilot, and her personality is described as timid and lacking in communication skills, but she's also pure of heart. And we will see how she finds her way in this new world, far away from her home planet of Mercury, which is considered a remote planet in this universe. So it kinda sounds like the space equivalent of moving from the countryside to the big city to attend university, and then you kind of have to suddenly navigate this new urban jungle. Then the other characters that we know about is Miorine Rembrandt, who is the daughter of Delling Rembrandt, who is the president of the Benerit Group and also the chairman of the school's board. She's a second-year student in the Management Strategy Department and is described as attractive and academically gifted. Also, she has strong rebellious feelings towards her father, so that's definitely going to come into play in the anime. Next up then, we have Gyul Jaturk, who is an ace pilot and pilots a very funky-looking custom Dilanza. He's 1 year above Suletta, and he's also in the piloting department, and he definitely sounds like he's going to be one of the main antagonists of the series. He has absolute confidence in his own skills, he's got a rough temperament, and he's also quick to anger. Charming. Another third-year student from the piloting department then is Elon Ceres. He's described as solitary, taciturn, and someone who doesn't easily open his heart, but he does have an interest in Suletta. Which then begs the question, is this interest of the romantic variety, or is it more of a professional interest as a fellow pilot? He's also the pilot of his own Gundam, the Farakt, and nothing else is known about the Gundam itself, but it is definitely one of the more badass looking designs. I totally want to see this thing as a Gunpla, and also judging by the design of the feet and the shoulders, I get the feeling that this might be a transformable mobile suit. And then the last character that we're introduced to is Shadiq Zanelli, an adopted child and third-year student of the piloting department. His mobile suit is the Michaelis, but it sounds like his main skills are going to be in business. And then through these character introductions, they also introduced what could become one of the main conflicts of the anime. Miorine is the rebellious daughter of the Benerit Group's president, and then the three other characters that we just went over each play an important role in one of the three branches of the group. Gul Jaturk is the heir of Jaturk Heavy Machinery, Elon is the top pilot backed by Pile Industries or Pale Industries, and Shadik is the adopted son of the CEO of Grassley Defense Systems. So I really wonder what the interaction between these groups is going to be, well, these branches is going to be, and how it's going to play into the larger story. Since the main outline of the story talks about how these corporations have basically conquered space and turned it into a giant economic field, is the main conflict going to be like these three branches trying to get control over the main group? Or is there going to be another corporation or multiple corporations who are going to try to challenge the Benerit Group in the mobile suit industry? And will we then see how the different branches try to get out on top? Or maybe they'll then eventually be united with the help of our main character. So far, the idea of a Gundam series focusing primarily on corporations does sound very appealing to me. We've already seen glimpses of this in the Universal Century with Anaheim Electronics, so expanding upon this idea and turning it into a full-fledged Gundam series definitely sounds like a cool concept, as long as they don't forget show, don't tell. And then related to this, G-Witch will also be collaborating with Parco on a bunch of projects throughout summer and fall, although which ones we'll actually be able to experience in person remains to be seen. There's going to be the Parco Grand Bazaar from July 1st until July 10th, so you can scratch that already. At least the commercial is funny. There's the Gundam Next Future, which we'll get into in a second. There's going to be collaboration merchandise released from September 16th until October the 2nd. More details will be released later. But they did unveil the entry-grade RX-78-2 Gundam Parco version that can be won through a lottery. A lottery that you can enter by buying more than 5,000 yen or 40 US of Parco X Gundam stuff. And then finally, starting August the 6th, there will be the Gundam recycling operation at Parco stores. They'll be collecting used runners, have exhibitions on how to recycle your Gunpla, they'll hand out the EcoPla RX-72 Gundam workshop versions, and they'll also have a workshop to assemble the thing. I'm gonna assume that you have to sign up to the workshop, which then gets you the workshop version of the EcoPla. But yeah, considering the situation, I do find it funny that this article of all things made it on the English Gundam.info website. But let's delve a little bit deeper into that Gundam Next Future event, because they're advertising this as the largest comprehensive Gundam event in history, featuring the future of the series, which on paper sounds really impressive, but I do think they're overselling it a little bit. The first pillar is Link the Universe. Here they will be syncing the lighting effects of the three life-sized Gundam statues, the Unicorn, Freedom, and New Gundam, to the movements of the moving RX-78-2. And they'll also have a monitor to live stream everything that's happening at once. For those of you who want to see it in person, though, it's unfortunately going to be held on July the 14th and 15th. The second pillar then is the base series, where they're basically going to be holding a bunch of special events at various Gundam bases throughout Japan. And then the third pillar is the Gundam Base pop-up tour, where throughout summer and fall, various Gundam bases will be popping up throughout Japan. if you want more information on these events, I will have the full article linked down below. Again, this is fully translated in English on the official English Gundam.info website. But again, it is really unfortunate to see all of these amazing things happening that we're just not going to be able to attend due to reasons. What I will quickly go over then are some of the limited items that will come out of these events. There is the classic color entry grade RX-72 Gundam, which looks absolutely amazing in my opinion. Love the colors they've got going on that thing. And then there is a clear color Hajiroboshi and the neon colored Master Grade RX-72 version 3.0, Master Grade Illustrated Gundam Remastered, and the Master Grade Gundam Exia, which I don't remember seeing advertised before. Next up then, we also got some more information about another upcoming anime, The Legend of Dragon Knight. We got the backstories of the Dark Grasper Dragon and the Sunquan Gundam Stray Kakuen Shoko. The Dark Grasper Dragon started its life as a Shining Grasper Dragon, but then its castle got attacked by the Warlock Aegis, and it was corrupted into the Aegis's loyal servant. The Astray then traveled across the land, training to become a samurai, met the Strike Gundam during his travels, and then helped him to overthrow the Zeta tribe. And since we're on the topic of SD Gundams, over at the Gundam base, they got a restock of a few old BB Senshis. There is the Deluxe Gundam Dai Shogun, Versal Knight Gundam, Armored God Elgeir, Super Armored God Gun Genesis, which I also found listed as Ultra Armored God Cancer Genesis on one website, and the Seryuki Mars Dragoon. And if you want to find out more about these funky named SDs, search by their model number. They are BB Senshi 46, 72, 117, 121, and 140. In other Gunpla news then, on the 24th, the 40th anniversary Gundarium Alloy Model 1/144th scale Gundam will once again be sold through P Bandai for the absolutely eye-watering 220,000 yen price tag, which is about 1,600 US. And for that price, you're getting a model kit whose armor parts are made out of a mixture of titanium, aluminium, and yttria, just like the real Gundam, which are then mounted on a plastic inner frame, unlike the real Gundam, and it also comes with an acrylic pedestal to put it on, and of course, very fancy box to match that fancy price. The question remains though, just because you can buy it, should you buy it? On the 28th then, the Red Tri Giant Stars will go up for pre-order on P Bandai, and on July the 16th, the 1/144th scale RX-78 FOO HMT Gundam High Mobility Type will be released. For 2,530 yen, 19 US, you can build this thing either as the new High Mobility Type, or you can build it as basically the RX-78-1 version of the life-sized Gundam. And the day that this figure releases is of course also the day that the Gundam Factory Yokohama opens up again. On the figure front then, on Monday, reservations opened up for the third lineup of G-Frame full armor kits, which will be available in October for 740 yen each, 6 US, or you can get them as a 10 set, which will be linked down below, for 7,480 yen, 60 US. And included in this lineup are the Shining Gundam, Zaku 2 Kai, Jim Custom, and Zeta Gundam, each of course consisting of an armor set with rigid frame, and a frame set with movable frame, and a bunch of accessories. And this time around, there were definitely some interesting things in these accessory sets. The Jim Custom comes with a slide of marking decals, which I think is the first time I've seen one of these G-frame figures / kits come with marking decals. and it is the personal emblem for Bait, Monsha, and Adel, even though the last guy piloted a Gym Cannon 2 and not a Gym Custom. And then the Zaku 2 Kai comes with an inflatable Santa so that it can trick the Alex. And each set of course also comes with a piece of chewing gum. And one day later then, the paper art Sigumi PRO Gundam series was unveiled and will be released in late July. Although, regular viewers might remember that I already covered this in a previous Gundam News episode quite a while ago, and that I even said that they were already available for pre-order over at Hobbyling Japan. And well, it turns out that someone at Hobbyling Japan accidentally jumped the shark and made them public a bit too soon. And in the few days that they were up for pre-order, I of course saw them and included them in my video. Which then also explains why I was only able to find these paper art Gundams on their website. But now you can finally get your own very unique looking RX-78-2 New Gundam or Strike Freedom Gundam for 4,800 yen each, 35 US. In the gaming news then, on Thursday, we got a quick introduction to some of the main characters and their machines that will be featured in SD Gundam Battle Alliance. And it's definitely interesting to see who they decided to show, or perhaps more importantly, who they didn't decide to show. We've got the Full Armor Gundam and Io, the Psycho Gundam and Daryl, the Alex and Chris, the Kempfer and Mikhail, the Double Zeta and Judo, the Victory 2 Assault Buster and Uso, the Double X and Garode, the Justice and Atheron, the Exia Repair 2, but no sign of the pilot, the Barb Sloops and Mika, the Easy 8 and Shiro, and then a bunch of SD Gundams, being the Night Gundam, Musha Gundam, Command Gundam, Liu Bei Unicorn Gundam, Sun Ken Gundam Astray, and Chow Chow Wing Gundam. Also, I forgot about the Ground Gundam, and I accidentally said Psycho Gundam instead of Psycho Zaku. Big difference, literally and figuratively. On Saturday then, Bonds of the Battlefield 2 got Gundam Unit 6, the XAML and the Reverse New York stage, and if you want to see the suits in action, I'll have the promotional videos linked down below. And today, Bamco announced a major digital sale for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and Switch, which includes Code Fairy, Cross Race, and many more Gundam and non-Gundam games. And over at Gundam Battle Operation 2, the Hyzak Cannon increased armor version from Advance of Zeta was added to the lineup. More Advance of Zeta is always a good thing. And this week, we can again have a dedicated music segment. First up, the fourth round of cover artists for the 2 mixed tribute album Crysta-Rhythm were announced, and they are Aki Okui, Nano, and Nagi Yanagi. And it has also been confirmed that Machiko will be singing Living Daylights. And secondly, the opening for mass production type Rico will be sung by VTuber Kaede Higuchi, who is affiliated with the Niji Sanji group. And you can hear part of the song in the trailer for the drama that was released alongside this announcement. And purely going by that trailer, the drama seems to start off pretty whack. After some trouble at work, the main character somehow finds herself in a dimly lit hobby store at night, which then gave me the impression that she just decided to break in, because why not? She's then found out by the owner and is peer pressured by him to immediately build the Zaku she found in the back. It's an old Zaku, by the way. And for the Votoms fans in the audience, she painted the spike shield red. In other news then, people who went to see Cucuruz Doan's Island in Japanese cinemas during the 4th week got one of the following beautifully illustrated cards. As for the things we could get this week then, on the 18th, the Robot Tamashii Gouf custom version anime was released with a nice complement of accessories and extra features. It's got the usual arm-mounted Gatling gun, Gatling shield, heat sword, and heat rod, but it of course also comes with a bunch of effect parts and the ability to mount the bazooka from the Zaku 2 JC type. sold separately. So not a bad deal for a 7,700 yen action figure, which is around 55 US. And on the 23rd, today at the moment of recording, you could get the SDW Heroes Saizo Gundam Delta Kai and its multiple shurikens for 660 yen, 5 US, and the SDW Heroes War Horse Night World version for 550 yen, around 4 US. And by opening up the back, you can have your other SD Gundams ride it. For this week's reading material then, there was the Summer 2022 edition of Great Mechanics G featuring the RX-93FF New Gundam on the cover, and also includes a special on the life-sized RX-72. There was the July issue of Grand Jump Mucha, in which Gundam Last Horizon is serialized, and the weekly Anan, which has an interview with Toru Furuya. Moving on to the Gundam apparel news then, and once again we got some sweet lineups. From Bamco, we got the Mobile Suit Gundam MSV Pilot Series, featuring Johnny Raiden and Shin Matsunaga. You can get their designs on a t-shirt or a cushion cover for 3,520 yen a piece, 25 US, a big-sized pouch for 2,420 yen, a little under 20 US, a glass that I did not write the yen price for, but I did write down that it was 13 US, and a flight tag. Again, I didn't write the yen price, but it goes for 9 US. All of these went up for reservation on Friday and are currently slated for an August release. Just like the Char's sunglasses items that went up for reservation on Wednesday. And if you look closely, it's not just his sunglasses, but in the reflection of the sunglasses, you can also see Giran Zabi. And you can get that reflection in either black or red on a white t-shirt for 3,520 yen, 25 US. You can get the famous scene itself on a tote bag for 4,400 yen, 30 US. And you can get the sunglasses on a pass case for 3,300 yen, a little under 25 US. And I gotta say, they really missed an opportunity here to turn them into an eye mask. And finally today, the second lineup of Cucuruz Doan's Island apparel and miscellaneous items went up for pre-order. There's 3 different designs available: MS Motif, Helmet Design, and Silhouette Design. And the MS Motif items come in 2 flavors, RX-78 or Doan's Zaku. But as you can see, the Doan's Zaku items are less Mobile Suit inspired and more Southern Cross inspired, unless you look really closely. 3,520 yen, 26 US gets you a t-shirt, 2,090 yen, 15 US a carabiner pouch, 1,870 yen, 14 US an acrylic stand, and 880 yen, 7 US an acrylic keychain. For the helmet designs then, there is Amro's helmet, Doan's helmet, and the General Southern Cross helmet, which is then either combined with their respective mobile suit or emblem. You can get them on a t-shirt for 3,520 yen, 26 US, a cushion cover or face towel for 3,300 yen, 25 US, an acrylic stand for 1,870 yen, 14 US, an acrylic keychain for 1,210 yen, 9 US, and a glass for 1,760 yen, 13 US. Strict G then released their second UC collection inspired by Japanese paintings last week Friday, and for 5,280 yen, 40 US, you can get a t-shirt based on an episode of the original Gundam series. There's a black episode 15 t-shirt, Cucuruz Doan's Island, a dark blue episode 12 t-shirt, Threat of Zeon, and a white episode 36 t-shirt, Big Zam's Last Stand. And on the same day, they also collaborated with Spalding to begin selling sporty streetwear. For 6,380 yen, 46 US, there is a white, blue, or red t-shirt with Gundam logo, a white or green t-shirt with Zeon Forces logo, or a yellow or blue t-shirt with a Haro going through a basketball ring. For 12,100 yen then, 90 US, you can get a white or blue hoodie with Earth Federation Space Forces design, or a red or black hoodie with a Zeon Forces design. And finally, for 13,200 yen, 100 US, you can get a Red Comet Coach jacket. And starting tomorrow might be the best time to pick up some straight G stuff, because that is when they start their 30% off summer sale, which is of course also available on their online store. Or to translate that for us non-Japanese buyers, it means that it'll at least somewhat soften the blow from proxy fees and import costs. And as usual, let's wrap up this week's Gundam news with some polls from Gundam.info. And first up, I wanted to tackle the ongoing poll just because of how crazy the options are. So, with the upcoming broadcast of mass production type Rico, Gundam.info wanted to know which mobile suits come to mind when hearing mass production type. Now, I want you to imagine 4 mass production type units that just immediately come to mind when I say mass production type and that you think are going to be on this poll. I can almost guarantee that the first 2 options on this poll are units everyone is going to get, and the last 2, almost nobody is going to imagine them. Because the 2 units in the lead are the most obvious picks. In the lead with 463 votes, we have the Zaku, because of course, and then in a somewhat distant second place, we have the Jim with 141 votes. And these are 2 that they definitely should have been on this poll. But then, in third place, we have the Cubile mass production type with 55 votes, and then in last place we have the mass production type gun tank with 35. And I'm sure that the only reasons that anyone would have either gotten the Cubile or the gun tank wrong, right is, well, for the Cubile, I've got some subliminal messaging going on in the background, and for the gun tank, that thing of course got its robot Damashii release a couple of weeks ago. Like, I definitely like these mass production units. I would love to get them as Gunpla one day because it's criminal how long they've gone without a Gunpla, but I think everyone is going to agree with me when I say that there are so many better picks for this poll. You've got units like the Leo, the Jagan, the Jin, the Dagger, the Gyaradoga, the Tyran, the Flag, and so on. So it's really crazy which 4 options they went with. And then finally we have the results for the poll that we had a look at a couple of weeks ago. Which character would you like as a Triple G figure in normal suit? And the winner was, of course, Amuro Ray with 45.8%. A figure that would make for a perfect pairing with the Gundam Guys Generation Char normal suit version that inspired this poll. But in a close second place, we have Sayla with 30.6%. So she was definitely able to make up some ground from when we covered this poll, if I remember correctly. And I would say that it's definitely close enough to make me wonder which is going to be Bandai's next Triple G figure. Because as we've seen in the past, these polls are much more of a guidance rather than a binding result. And then in last place, we have Dozel Zabi and Lala Soon. And that has been all for this week's Gundam news. A big thanks to Eurozap for sponsoring this video. Again, links down below. Another big thanks to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam news.